Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder 2, the A-5C, the Chinese premium chat, battle rating 10.0, and this chat is so brain dead that even I enjoyed it. Okay, first things first, it's been a while since I seriously touched AirRB, but the A-5C is really a no-brainer in many ways. Now, there are basically two reasons, maybe even three, why that is. The first thing is the missiles are fantastic. One might even say they are magic. You have the choice between two AIM-9Ps or two Matra R550 magic ones. And in my case, I used the R550 magic ones, and all the kills are done with those, except the gun kills, which I did with the 223mm Type 23 2K, which have 240 rounds between them, and they have a slow enough rate of fire that you have a long trigger duration, but I think the shell density is in most cases just enough to get a hit or two in. However, not every hit is quite a one shot, and I think that the most convincing kind of results I got with the armor piercing belt, although the air target is not really completely pointless, partially because of that one API shell in it. So, the next thing is the air start. That makes the difference. So, you start with high speed in front of the rest of your team, and you are already at a certain altitude, so you don't have to take off, spool up the engines, retract the landing gears. You just climb into the enemy, and if you use the maximum of your climbing rate, you can easily reach 10, even 12 kilometers of height before you engage the first enemy. Now, very often you get locked on by radar, and therefore you have countermeasures. You have flares. I use the mixed ones, so half chaff, half flare, and they are usually enough. Not once I was killed with a radar missile, to my knowledge, and that is just decent. That's pretty good. So you have then only one problem. If you use your high speed, you stiffen up, you lock up. And in order to get any sort of meaningful maneuverability, you have to just hit the air brake and get to around 800 kilometers per hour on the deck at least, and then you can somewhat maneuver. It's really stiffening up quite immensely. Now, I do not discuss here the ground strike capabilities, although they are plentiful and very versatile. You have a lot of mixtures of bombs, rockets, and missiles, and yeah, it's pretty potent. So if you want to use it in tank RP, it can be used there as well, minus the stiffening up in the first run to the battlefield. So yeah, according to this, it's pretty potent, and I think that it is really enjoyable for me. If you're not really tryharding, if you just want something for grinding, you can use it. And I played it the following. I just went in, tried to get off my missiles from the top, right? I just climbed behind the enemies and then fired the two missiles. In most cases, I actually got one kill, and then I returned to the airfield and used the landing trick. So I simply killed something, landed, went back to the battlefield, killed something again, and therefore got a not neglectable amount of additional RP. So that is just what I made a video about it quite a while ago actually, and it kind of still seems to work. Oh, what a beautiful gun kill. There you see the disadvantage of those guns. They have a really slow muzzle velocity, and that is a bit of a problem. So this thing, I love the look of it. I love the climb rate, which is astronomical. And if it would have 4 missiles, this plane would be a real problem. But 2, I think, are fair. Now, what is the right amount of missiles? Historical accuracy and balance and whatnot. Now, I've heard that this plane actually shouldn't have those missiles, because it was just in a very special export version the case. But gauging being gauging, you have to make it really attractive somehow. And to be honest, without the missiles, it should be lower in battle rating, um, because of the meta. But then again, it would be a bit pointless because it is so stiff, and it still would fight missiles, or even if you give it worse missiles, right? And the magics, they can be really powerful. Now, I think that such a plane, therefore, is a good grinding machine. You can also earn several millions of silver lines while researching a chat. But I don't think that it's a good learning machine because you just get a bit handhold through the air start, which makes a ton of difference. So I just press the afterburner and just hit it, climb. And while looking back, the rest of my team is already 13, 14 kilometers behind me and just struggles to keep up. And so you have this two levels of chats, so to speak. The early gamers, which just can make the difference and kill one or two enemy players and then be done for the day, or then the late joiners, which then very often find themselves already in a disadvantage. Now think about this, right? Where I think the plane is kind of unfair and a bit stupid, and the meta overall doesn't really fit modern chats or the modern chats we have in game. We have here the problem that you are potentially already very close to the enemy airfield when the enemy jets, even while staying on the deck, have not even picked up enough speed to do any sort of meaningful maneuvering, right? Not really even thinking about dodging your missiles or anything like that. And also the magics, they seem to be really, you can make it work that, or they don't fall for every flare that gets fired. So sometimes they ignore flares, especially if you do something like throwing the missile over the target, which is, imagine an enemy jet is flying in a straight line and you lock him on, but then pull up with your plane and then launch the missile at an angle so that the seeker very often doesn't even see the flares in the first place. Apparently that was a real tactic being used. I'm not an expert on this, so you can agree, disagree, whatever, or let me know in the comment section therefore. But it works even better, even against players that are somewhat knowing what they're doing. Yeah, and that was just another kill. So let's just summarize. Good grinding machine, bad learner, bit handhold, but very versatile. You can even use it in tank RB. And yeah, have I mentioned that it really looks cool? So air RB, if you do not really take it too serious, you can have a bit of dumb fun and a little bit of your daily success feeling in this thing. But really, it's a bit of a more about the question, do you really want to grind something in the Chinese tech tree? Because when it comes to versatility, a Phantom is just so much more versatile and also a bit more controllable even at higher speeds. And when it comes to absolute style, make 21 bis. That's just it. This is an effective plane, and while it has some charm, it kind of misses, for me personally, a bit of character. Now that is very subjective, I know, but it's it's I really find it difficult to think about stuff talking about this thing, right? So it would be better to just simply end the video here. But I think this is an important part of the video, when there is just so much that you can talk about a plane, whereas you can talk for days about stuff that on other planes. Maybe this plane, while being on paper very versatile, in practice is just getting repetitive. And I felt like you do not really have that much of a carrying potential, right? Yeah, sure, if the enemy is ground striking and they let you return to the airfield and let you, take off again undisturbed, then sure, yeah, this plane can in the long run mop up. But by itself, when you have in an up tier, for example, a Draken or something behind you, yeah, maybe you don't even have enough flares or something like that. Your guns, while being capable of hitting stuff and destroying it, are not really as good as, let's say, an American 20mm Gatling. Um, it really has a bit of a Soviet feeling about it. If you really like it, then this plane might be it for you. If not, then yeah, you're stuck with it. And this is what I really think about when playing this plane. I researched now one chat with it, and I'm happy that I'm done with it. But it's not that the plane was bad or that it was really difficult to, get anything done with it or to get RP with it, but just to have a real joy in it. That was not the case. And that was what I was missing about it. And I'm not quite sure why that was, right? So let's just have a quick look at this post-battle result. So there were 3 player kills, and I got 94,000 silver lines, and through over 3 landings without an RP booster, I got nearly 35,000 RP. You can see what kind of progress that is. It's really impressive in that aspect. It's a beautiful plane, and I had my fair share of, let's say, time I didn't suffer in War Thunder, if that is a description. But overall, I'm a bit split on this plane. Anyway, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did, because for you it's just a click. For me it means the world. Subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more. And we'll see each other on the waves, on the battlefields, and in the skies of War Thunder.